The Daedric Princes are some of the most mysterious and powerful beings in the Elder Scrolls universe. Immortal demons, for lack of a better word, who have regularly attempted to invade the realms of mortals and rule over such cheery domains like assassination, destruction, and, I guess, cheese. So why do mortals pledge their devotion to these chaotic deities? What do these princes offer that compels so many to risk it all for this taboo worship? Well, the truth is, the Daedra aren't really bound by the morality of good and evil. It's almost a foreign concept to them, and classifying them either way is an oversimplification. Sure, some may be outwardly menacing and take great pleasure in acts of destruction within the mortal realm, but others are more benevolent, or in some cases pursue goals that most would deem morally good. They don't pursue these goals or their domains, however, because they are good or evil. They simply do so because it's what they want to, and they care little of the consequences for mortals. Much of the mortal realm of Mundus view the Daedra as evil simply because they worship their opposite numbers, the Aedra, beings who, unlike the Daedra, gave up their immortality and much of their power in the creation of Mundus. Because the Daedra did not make this sacrifice, they're capable of playing a greater role in the everyday life of mortals, leading many to seek out bargains, pacts, and assistance from these princes to achieve their own goals. Some seek out forbidden knowledge, some unyielding power, whilst others even seek protection. In some cases, entire races like the Orsimer, Dunmer, or Khajiit, due to their societal practices and history, worship one or all of the princes, while for some, these princes are simply a path to their deepest desires, offering rewards that the Aedra, bound by their limitations and more noble domains, cannot or will not grant. Now in total there are 17 main Daedric princes, all offering something different for those who worship them. Azura, the Queen of Dawn and Dusk, holds sway over the transition between day and night, as well as being closely associated with prophecy, magic, and fate. She is one of the more appealing Daedric princes for mortals due to her apparent care for her subjects, wanting their adoration above all else. Just don't make her jealous. Worship of Azura is particularly significant among the Dunmer and the Khajiit. For the Dunmer, Azura is one of the good Daedra who guided their ancestors, while the Khajiit revere Azura as the mother of all Khajiit. As the overseer of fate, magic, and prophecy, you would assume followers and mages look to her to provide visions and insights into the future, or assistance in gaining magical power. Some of her most devout followers also get fiery azure eyes, so if that sounds like fun to you, then go ahead, I guess. Now, Boethiah, the Prince of Plots and Goddess of Destruction, is a nasty one, ruling over deceit, conspiracy, treachery, and unlawful overthrow of authority. Boethiah embodies the darker aspects of ambition and revolution, and is known for enjoying the suffering of mortals. So unlike Azura, they care little for their followers, often commanding them to fight each other for Boethiah's amusement. Worship of Boethiah is particularly significant again amongst the Dunmer, who count Boethiah among the three good Daedra. They are credited with guiding and advancing Dunmeri civilization, teaching them philosophy and magic. Besides that, they often manifest as a warrior queen, inspiring the arms of brave warriors who follow them. Clavicus Vile, Prince of Trickery and Bargains, is renowned for granting wishes and power through pacts made with mortals. Although not their creator, he does serve as patron to some vampires, gracing them with social stature, reason, and savvy, allowing them to not only live among regular mortals, but to rise to powerful positions within society. However, most of his interactions come through individuals seeking to achieve their deepest wishes, turning to Clavicus Vile hoping to gain power, wealth, or other forms of success through his pacts. These deals often come with unforeseen consequences, as Vile delights in twisting the terms to his advantage, all to help stave off his eternal boredom. Hermaeus Mora, Keeper of the Forbidden, is the Daedric Prince of Forbidden Knowledge. His curiosity is insatiable, and he hoards and safeguards all knowledge, especially that which may endanger reality. Mora maintains a realm in Oblivion called Apocrypha, where all forbidden knowledge can be found. Scholars and seekers of hidden truths may turn to Hermaeus Mora in order to gain access to ancient tomes and secrets beyond mortal comprehension. However, delving into his realm often leads to madness or corruption, as his knowledge is both vast and perilous. Hircine the Huntsman was the Daedric Prince of the Hunt, overseeing all things involving the chase of prey. Now this antlered boy was one of the more widely worshipped of the princes, especially among hunters, fishers, trappers, and especially the Reach folk, believing he gifted them their homeland of the Reach. These followers conduct rituals and sacrifices to Hircine, asking for a bountiful and fair hunt. Individuals afflicted with, or desiring lycanthropy, may too turn to Hircine, as he is the creator of and father to all werebeasts. It is the eventual hope of all Hircine followers to spend their afterlife in his plane of oblivion, the hunting grounds, a lush land that provides endless opportunities for spectacular hunts. To the faithful, this plane of oblivion is considered a paradise. Jyggalag, the Prince of Order, was at one point the most powerful of all Daedra. Overseeing logical order and deduction, his library once contained a logical prediction of nearly every event that would ever take place on Mundus or Oblivion. His fellow princes, however, grew envious, transforming the Prince of Order into the embodiment of everything he hated, Sheogorath, Prince of Chaos, Madness and Creativity. Followers of Jyggalag, known as the Priests of Order, would, you'd assume, worship the prince as they are seeking to impose strict order and predictability in their own lives or purge their minds of madness. Real puritanical sorts who detest chaos, criminals and disorder. As for the followers of Sheogorath, well, they're those who reject order, the madmen, addicts, the obsessed, musicians, the visionaries and artists. Those that reject linear dull thought and worship the cheese prince to delve into their own madness or harness unbridled creativity. Malacath, the Daedric Prince of the Ostracized, Battle and Vengeance, is another of the more widely worshipped of the Daedra, due in part to his apparent status as a former Aedra, as Malacath's origins are tied to the transformation of the Aedra Trinomac. According to legend, Trinomac was consumed and corrupted by the Daedric Prince Boethiah, resulting in his transformation into Malacath, whilst his Aldmer followers were turned into the Orsimer, a species that are no stranger to ostracism and prejudice, from man and mer alike. As a result, the Orcs have clung to the worship of their patron Daedric Lord for protection and guidance, in a land that hates them, adhering to the Code of Malacath, a set of principles that govern their society, especially around honour, strength, and the importance of vengeance for wrongs committed. Other races worship the Orc Lord too, among them the Dunmer, Reachfolk, and even some Nords, seeking out Malacath to test them and rid them of their weakness. Seen by some in Tamriel as the big bad of the princes due to his role in the Oblivion Crisis, Mehrunes Dagon is the Daedric Prince of Destruction and Revolution. His cultists, such as those edgy guys and gals in the Mythic Dawn, conduct rituals and great plots to cool down natural disasters, or bring about some kind of revolution or change in the world, be it to escape the dull mundanity of their current existence, overthrow a tyrannical government, or in the case of the Mythic Dawn, when they assassinated Auriel Septim VII and brought about the Daedric invasion of Tamriel, free Mundus from the Aedra, who they thought were pretenders that had tricked mortals into following them. Mephala, the plot weaver, prince of murder, lies and secrets, takes great interest in the affairs of mortals, obtaining pleasure from meddling and plotting elaborate schemes that cause war and anger amongst mortals. She is considered one of the good Daedra for the Dunmer, while she also has a long association with assassins, some even believing she is the fabled Night Mother of the Dark Brotherhood. So those engaged in the arts of murder, espionage and political intrigue may seek Mephala's blessing for guidance and assistance. It's also said that some gardeners pray to Mephala in the hope that her webs will prevent slugs and worms from eating their gardens, so it's not all murder and plots, well, unless you're a slug. Now Meridia, the Prince of Life and Light, is an odd one, as by all accounts most mortals would look at her and the aspects she's associated with, then think Meridia closer aligned to the Daedra than her fellow Daedra. After all, she is associated with the energies of living things and is revered for her unwavering opposition to the undead, seeking to cleanse the world of necromancy. But Meridia's self-righteous, obsessive pursuit of this goal, and her hatred of mortal free will, does give her a bit of a darker side. Worshippers may follow Meridia out of a hatred for the undead, or potentially in search of immortality, which the Bright Lady will grant her most devout followers, at the cost of their free will, becoming purified slaves at her command. You'd think that surely Molag Bal, the Prince of Domination and Enslavement of Mortals, would really struggle to acquire mortal followers, but that's not the case. He takes great pleasure in the suffering of mortals, often preserving his followers only to allow him to torture them for longer, or put them to work as forced labour. So why do many cults exist performing sacrifices to Molag Bal? Well, for starters, there are plenty of creeps, sadists and warlords in this world who would happily bow down to a Prince of Domination, in return for his blessing and assistance in exerting their own will over other mortals. This big old spiky guy was also responsible, albeit accidentally, for the creation of all vampires, so many choose to commit evil acts in honour of the prince, hoping he bestows upon them the gift of vampirism. Namira is another of the more sweet, happy-sounding princes, overseeing revulsion, squalor, and decay, and associating herself with creatures like slugs and insects that inspire revulsion amongst mortals. Those ensnared by Namira are tortured until they forget themselves, only knowing their new liege Namira. So again, why would anyone follow her? Well, chief amongst her followers are cannibals. Knowing they would be shunned by society for their unconventional appetites, they turn to a prince who would welcome them with open arms. Further to this, similar to Malacath, Namira welcomes those cast out by society, the homeless and others who feel out of place.
People like you. Like to hear you talk. When you are more loathsome, you may return.
Nocturnal, Lady Luck, the Daedric Prince of Night, Darkness and Mystery, is believed by some to be the oldest and most powerful of the Daedra. Those of the Thieves Guild venerate Nocturnal, asking for her blessing to bestow good luck to them on their contracts, or they may even hope for her to gift them a powerful artifact to aid them in their thievery, such as the Skeleton Key, while others become enraptured by the mystifying nature of the Mistress of Mystery, following her in a futile attempt to understand the true nature of the prince. Peryite, Daedric Prince of Pestilence, Tasks and Natural Order, Lord of Abundant Pus and Bountiful Vomit, is associated with disease and contamination, often blessing his followers with pleasant diseases like brain rot or the collywobbles. He's also regarded as one of the weakest of the Daedric Princes, so he's not really selling himself to new followers, yet some do follow him, believing that sometimes due to overpopulation or geopolitical tensions, the world needs to be cleansed by a plague, whilst others, who can only be described as, well, imbeciles, follow Peryite out of some bizarre and idiotic infatuation, adoring each instance of scabies, rash and fungal infection their lord bestows upon them. But Sanguine, now that's a prince whose followers we can understand. He rules over hedonistic revelry, debauchery and passionate indulgences of a darker nature. As far as the Daedra go, he's quite outgoing. He loves a pint, loves pranking mortals, and hates doing things in moderation. Followers, including several imperial emperors, flock to Sanguine due to his legendary parties and relatively positive reputation among mortals, never knowingly doing them harm. In return for their worship, Sanguine encourages mortals to indulge all, even their darkest desires. The only downside is, once you attend one of Sanguine's parties, it's very hard to leave, and you may just end up partying there forever. And finally, Vaermina, the Prince of Dreams and Nightmares, holds sway over all mortals whilst they sleep, and she's one of the more demonic Daedra, despising mortals with a moral compass, and reveling in inflicting psychological torture or stealing the memories of mortals. Those that choose to follow her commune with Vaermina in their dreams, and they gain a number of abilities in exchange for their worship, including being able to enter the dreams of others, as well as the ability to dream stride, vanishing when entering a dream, and when they awake, they reappear miles away in the same location that their dream self was in. During our exploration of Daedra worship today, I hope we managed to give you a better idea of why some mortals seem to worship these seemingly demonic beings. But a word of warning: while some princes offer tangible rewards, and some of the princes might seem harmless, or dare I even say fun, all of them tend to lead their followers down a perilous and nightmarish path. But if you were to continue your journey towards Daedra worship, which would you choose? Make sure to let us know down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to join us again soon. Until then, catch you next time.
The Lore Tours Spaceport is your destination for tours through the most fascinating worlds, groups, and events in the multiverse. From sci-fi to fantasy, we have it all, so make sure to subscribe and book your next trip with us.